I didn't think this was going to happen this month. It's summertime, everybody's busy. But hey, look at that. Josiah made it, and I'm going to get this edited just in the nick of time. Fingers crossed, I hope. We begin November the 4th of 2002 on Monday Night Raw. What do you got, Josiah?
We got the show opening up with our boy, Hunter Hearst Helmsley, Triple H, bragging about his victory last week. Despite all the odds being against him, despite everybody in the world.
Absolutely, yeah.
Saying
Big
he
stars.
couldn't do it. Big stars. There's only one man that believed in him, and that was me, Triple H.
I think Ric Flair believed in him.
Well, okay, two people. As Rick standing by his side, patting him on the back. Of course, John Cena comes out with the rap.
That's
a little tight on time.
Of course. Now you get.
We'll save that for the future.
Absolutely.
But you know.
Oh, did you have one?
I did.
That's funny.
Yeah.
I mean, you do what you do, brother.
Yeah. Well, we'll hold off because it's so early in this episode. But I don't want to run 4 days.
You're good.
But let's see. And saying basically the gist of it is like, oh, he needs this big hammer to compensate for it.
Oh, I like that. Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, the classic Cena line. But yeah, that's pretty much the long and short of it. Crowd goes, oh, ends on the classic, these nuts. crowd loses it. And that's a segment. We go up next to a package for Too Cool and the Dudley Boys. Remember, they got that big match at Survivor Series to determine who's going to be a team afterwards and who's not.
Yeah, a real survival type encounter.
Yeah, real survival of the series. But yes, this is all finish out their classic tag team rivalry that's been going on since this channel started.
Yeah.
So real excited about that one. Next up, we have Raven and the rest of Hardcore Advice having a vignette talking about now that Raven's done with Kurt Angle, he can focus on bringing true hardcore to the division.
Yes.
Yada yada yada.
Of course, yeah. Because that's what Raven's all about is the ECW roots.
ECW.
Yeah, or Raven's rules as it were in WCW.
Exactly.
Same
concept. I'm about to say same concept, same point, same energy.
Absolutely.
But yeah, obviously trusting Raven. Raven's the greatest.
Yes.
God bless him.
I like that.
And then finally, pretend we had matches all throughout the night because we just got the important parts in. So we have Victoria versus Jazz for the Women's Championship as advertised last month, which feels like 5 months ago for us.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, so this whole month of August has been outside of the trivia, all me, because, and I plan on, given the way that it worked this month, doing that August, November, and December is just doing me minus trivia.
Yeah.
Because I can't ask myself the question.
Yeah. I mean, you could, but it just wouldn't.
It's more likely I'll see the answer, is my point.
Yeah, I got you.
But that way that it gives people family time. Summertime vacation, Thanksgiving, November, and then Christmas time, obviously. And then we start back fresh.
Bright and early in January.
Exactly. But that's the goal, at least.
Yeah. But, so Victoria versus Jazz. Victoria back in the corner for the first time in her career. Big back and forth, obviously. Jazz being the powerhouse and leader of the women's division that she is, knows what to do. So Victoria's like, okay, I just need to get out of this with the title. So she goes for the chair, tries to hit Jazz with the chair. However, Ivory takes the chair from her before she can swing. Match continues. Jazz hits her triple power bomb, but Victoria wisely grabs the ropes at the last second before the ref hits the mat for 3. Jazz attempts to go for it again, but out comes Jacqueline, who runs out and distracts the ref. And then from behind, Ivory smacks Jazz in the back with a chair. This allows Victoria.
Much like Seth Rollins.
Rollins. In fact, I have the exact same cell in mind. She falls to the floor and just slowly... Every time Roman Reigns gets hit in the back with a chair,
he's got that down. He's like, I got taught one thing at acting school, and it's this.
It was literally just this. It's the only thing Dusty taught me, so I gotta use it.
I love it.
But huge betrayal. No one can believe it. Crowd shock. Victoria's even like,
I'll take it.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Sets her up for the Widow's Peak, and that's your lot.
I love it. Yeah, that's a great progression. For their women's division, and just a fun show overall with the progress with Triple H and Flair and Cena and all that.
But now, what do we have on the docket for my favorite show of the week? Friday Night SmackDown.
It's not yet on Fridays.
Thursdays.
Yes, but it's all good. Yeah, we've got to go to. We stay on Thursday, move to Tuesday, and before we get to Friday. No. There's a Friday stint before we go to Tuesday. Then
I'm about to say, wasn't Friday for like 2 years?
Oh my God, SmackDown jumps around way too much.
Yeah.
There's actually rumors of if it gets picked up by somebody who isn't Fox in real life, Amazon or whatever, they're like, well, we'll put it anywhere. We don't care. Because I mean, I think the only night of the week SmackDown's not been on is Monday. But this SmackDown begins with Big Evil, and no, it's not The Undertaker in this world. Big Evil is Chuck Palumbo. He is defending his television title against the debuting on SmackDown, that is, Big Daddy Cool Kevin Nash.
Whoa.
So
where did he come from?
Monday Night Raw. He was the trade that SmackDown got for Nydia going to the women's division.
I think it was worth it.
And so, because and you wrote him off with a great storyline with the Outsiders and the Dudley Boys, all-time classic tag teams. So it made sense to let him go right off into the sunset with his boy Scott.
Yeah.
And so I picked him up, and because I have wanted and tried to show Chuck Palumbo is a worthwhile talent, I have booked this match for a specific amount of time.
Oh, okay.
That being 27 minutes and 17 seconds. 1 second shy of Kevin Nash's longest match in his entire career, which was 27 minutes, 18 seconds with Bret the Hitman Hart, 1995 at the Royal Rumble.
That's phenomenal. I love that.
And so I do this to illustrate how much I think that Chuck Palumbo is a valued member of the roster. Mm-hmm. Nash falls short, obviously, but he gives almost his best performance ever
of his career. So
this match is followed up with, we follow up this match with a promo from Stephanie McMahon. Cool. She announces that the people that she has handpicked for the Elimination Chamber are Rey Mysterio and a man synonymous with Survivor Series. He debuted at the 1990 version thereof, that being The Undertaker.
Jeez, he really is that old, isn't he?
And so after this important announcement, whether it's a package or a stage or ring, it doesn't matter.
Right.
We have the Mattitude followers come out with the Team Extreme Tornado tag titles, or not tag, but championships.
Yeah.
Matt declares that Steph isn't the only one in a giving mood, and that he has decided to bestow this year's Survivor Series with a special elimination trios contest, and the winning trio gets a shot at Matt, Shannon, and Crash. His first team that he has chosen to take part in this are the Regal Counter Threat, who make their way out to the ring because Test is taking on... No, take that back.
Run it back.
Storm, Test, and Nowinski are taking on Booker T. If Booker T wins, he gets King William one-on-one at Survivor Series.
Okay.
But the team of the Regal Counter Threat, they overcome Booker T in this when Test hits a big boot and pins Booker T. Might seem
good for Test.
Might seem strange that I tell Booker T he can have William Regal if he wins and then he loses, but all things come. All things will
good things come to those who wait.
Yes, and all things will be revealed in time. So the next match up is Tajiri versus Jamie Noble.
My boy.
So Jamie Noble once again wins, and I have to shout out our friend Ahmed because he said to me something I thought was very interesting. He said, the way that I'm booking Jamie Noble, he feels like the John Cena of this universe. It's Jamie Noble wins, lol. But the fact is, Jamie is inventive. He does new things per opponent, and so he does win the match. But after the match, he gets a little overshadowed by a video package that plays. So that means that probably was in the ring because it's a video package. So Hulk Hogan has a hype package air, and it is foretelling his return.
Got it.
Because he has not been seen since Chuck Palumbo beat him at Day of Reckoning.
Correct.
So, up next, we have Magic Mark and Jacked Johnny they come out and they welcome Vascular Val into their Iron Addicts faction, and they beat down 3 local competitors. I know that it feels as though I'm ripping off the Iron Savages, but when I conceived of this concept, they were still Bear Country.
They were still Bear Country.
Yes.
So
it's just coincidence. It's just a coincidence.
It just happened to work out.
So after the Iron Addicts defeat the local competitors, Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman appear to state their case that the Elimination Chamber isn't 5 guys challenging Brock Lesnar. Mm-hmm. It is 5 men being fed to a lion inside of his own cage. And so
that's phenomenal.
It's the idea that Paul is allowing the fans to know that Brock's just not worried.
Yeah. Not even sweating this match that no one's ever seen before.
Absolutely. And so the main event of this episode of SmackDown sees Eddie Guerrero versus Chavo Guerrero versus Rey Mysterio for the Intercontinental Championship, following along with how Chavo had cost Rey the television title. It also furthers the story of how Eddie wants to bring both guys in. He wants to bring the family back together.
Unify the
team. And how Chavo feels jealous of Rey. It keeps all those plates spinning. And because of all of the chaos, Eddie Guerrero retains his Intercontinental Championship. Mm. And so that is how we close out this episode of SmackDown. And I love the build. I love this, the progress we're making en route to Survivor Series.
Yeah, this is going to be a fun pay-per-view.
I definitely agree. I think it will be a fun pay-per-view.
Indeed. Well, we're here, 11/11/2002. I didn't F up that time.
Oh, very cool. I always like when numbers do that.
Yeah, it just syncs up real nice.
Yeah, the year of 2020, yeah. I loved 02/02/2020. Oh
yeah.
It was the launch day of my 68-page graphic novel, Everlasting Survivors, Volume 1, all day long. This is Jeff Hicks' A cover. This is Nick Crook's B cover. And if you follow the link in the description of this video, you can get yourself one of 5 cover options. Obviously, these are limited and will never be printed again. These are the first printings. But there are additionally C, D, and E covers that I had to go with a new printer because my original printer, he's had health issues and his equipment
dropped out on him.
Yes. Yeah. But the good news is the new printer said that they shall be in soon. This is Jeff's new C cover. This is Febreze E cover. If you would like, you could also get a shirt or this here Gamble Comics hat. Everybody who makes a purchase gets a Gamble Comics sticker. Thank you, Josiah.
See, senor.
That just felt perfect.
I was about to say the timing was right.
Yeah.
So
Monday Night Raw.
Monday Night Raw. We start out with our women's champion, freshly off her retention.
I love it. Yeah.
And she's coming down with some new friends.
Okay.
She's coming down with your girl Ivory, who fresh off betraying her best friend Jazz.
Yeah, a long time buddy in this here world.
And the now re-christened, redubbed Jacqueline, who is now going by Jackie Moore.
Okay.
Mostly because I'm tired of spelling out Jacqueline every time I talk.
Makes sense.
Yep.
Well, and when I think of her TNA run, she was Jackie Moore the whole time.
Exactly. So. Yeah. So that's actually my first introduction to her. So
makes sense. You're a youngin.
Yep. So fresh in the mind, going by Jackie Moore. So
I think my first introduction was Mark Marrow, when Sable had left.
Oh, okay.
Or when he was treating Sable badly, basically.
Yeah.
There was this hot minute where he had Jackie on his arm.
You know what? I did forget about that. I'm not gonna lie.
But yeah, I mean, it was still happening way before your time.
I'd say way before I was alive. So. Yeah. But I'm glad you reminded me of that.
Do you like wrestling with regret?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness! Did you watch his Goldberg NWA?
Yes.
His analysis of Ken Shamrock's being misused, and being the push behind Goldberg, genius. Freaking genius! Nobody can convince me that you didn't push Ken Shamrock, that he was already a star. Yeah. I knew him, and I don't like sports.
Mixed martial arts.
Yeah, I mean, so what had happened was this is a totally off-topic anecdote, but there was a flood, right?
Yeah.
And this video rental store was just going out of business. They couldn't do the thing. So my dad was like, "Oh, here are these tapes. Actually, I swear one of them's probably still down here on this shelf. But the point is, he didn't understand that UFC, Ultimate Fighting Championship, wasn't wrestling, my dad, because he didn't like wrestling.
Phenomenal.
And so I watched UFC 1 and 2 not knowing, well, it didn't take me long to figure out what wrestling.
Say about 10 seconds.
Yeah, I was like, I know this is wrestling, but I know it's something, so I gave it a shot. You know, I liked Ken, I liked a few of the guys, and it was just very interesting, like the whole barbaric
back
nature.
then, I was about to say, there wasn't any really...
Exactly, it's just like, please don't die.
Yep.
Okay. Sorry.
I'm about to say, one fight that was like a 600-pound guy fighting a 200-pound guy.
Absolutely.
Like, they would never do this now.
Exactly.
For
yeah, go
obvious
ahead.
reasons.
Yes, yeah, but go ahead with your trio of ladies.
Yes, these trio of ladies. Obviously, Victoria is out here bragging about how she outsmarted Jazz. How even she didn't know what Ivory was going to do. But clearly, Ivy's fed up with the way she's been treated, fed up with being fed to the wolves and getting nothing in return.
Right.
So now...
Well, and I think SummerSlam is a great justification for her motivation because it was Molly, Jazz, Lita, Trish. Where was Ivory?
Yeah, hurt.
Well, I know that, but I'm just saying, like...
Well, yeah, but like,
match,
even in her mind, she was like, okay, I know I was hurt, but like, I didn't get a mention. I didn't get... no one threw me a bone. No one said,
and
hey,
how did I get
Ivory gets the next challenge.
How did I get her helping you? Yeah.
Yeah. I was out here looking out for you, making sure you were all right.
Love
You couldn't even promise me a championship match. So, yeah, you know what? Letting her know she's number one in our hearts.
I love it.
But, of course, since it's Victoria's faction, she dubs us the Black Widow Alliance.
Sure.
Because I thought that would be a cool name.
Yeah.
So, hence the name.
Oh, man. It's so close to the BWO, it's not even funny.
Yeah.
BWA. BWA, yeah, it's good. It's good.
Yep. Of course, Jazz comes out heated, upset, and challenges all three women to a, as the kids would say, a trios match.
Oh, she's got partners, I see.
Yeah. She will be getting partners.
Sure. Yeah.
Oh, wait, no, never mind. I introduced them now.
That's cool.
Good job, me. 6 women elimination tag match at Survivor Series, because,
Yeah, it's Survivor Series. Yeah.
And she introduces her tag partner.
Can I tell you a secret?
Yeah.
I don't book one elimination tag match this year's Survivor Series.
Right, that means there won't be more than one.
But here's the other crazy thing. They didn't either.
Hey.
So
what?
The only elimination match at Survivor Series 2002 was Elimination Chamber. I looked up the card. There was not one other elimination match.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I think you're right.
Yeah, no, I'm 100% right.
Oh my God.
So they had a trios table match of Jeff Hardy, Bubba, and somebody versus some heels. Oh, 3-minute warning and Rico, I think? Question mark. But anyway, but it wasn't elimination. It was just a table gimmick.
Whoever went through was done.
And so Devon helped Bubba 3D, and they lined back up after the failed outing of them being split up. Yeah. But yeah, so it's just a fun little
dumb idea.
Piece of information.
Damn, that is wow! I completely forgot about that. All right, cool. So I remedied that situation real quick.
So now we have 2 elimination matches.
Yes, we still have the tradition. Damn it.
Yes. Well, I had a 3-on-3s, but they were one fall to a finish.
Exactly. So it's not the
gimmick.
Not the gimmick.
Yeah.
But So Jazz introduces her partners Molly Holly and Nydia.
Oh, good. That makes sense.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they will obviously face them at Survivor Series, which is
not long.
I think this weekend.
Yes. Yeah. It's SmackDown and then it's Survivor Series.
Phenomenal.
Yes.
Gotta love the synergy. Speaking of Survivor Series, Christian and Shawn Michaels decide they want to settle their unfinished business for the United States Championship because they've got all those matches with interference, little extra side to side. Been a lot of
more humans.
Yeah, about to say more humans than just them.
Yes.
So they obviously hit up my boy Mick, and Mick's like, Christian, I love you, baby. I love you. Shawn, we have history.
Yeah.
So
Mind Games.
Yes.
That's a great pay-per-view.
Yeah, phenomenal.
Oh, great main event at least. I'll say.
I was about to say.
Yeah.
Let's not give credit for the whole pay-per-view.
Yeah, In Your House had some rough moments, but the main event.
That main event though.
Yes.
Listen, it's in the fans. I'm happy at this.
Yes.
But so Mick signs off on it.
Do you know what's so special with that main event?
What?
That is the day. That's the day that Mick Foley told Shawn Michaels that I wanted to be you. That's the day that the locker room found out about Dude Love.
Wow.
And that led to obviously Dude Love coming to TV eventually.
Yeah, I was about to say it's.
But yeah, I was just because
I didn't know that.
Because most people you'll look at Mick and you don't think of a lover boy.
Nah.
You don't think of
sexy boy.
The person that all the chicks want.
Yeah.
But neither did Mick, but that's what he wanted. You know,
Yeah,
obviously when he's 15 years old,
yeah, I was about to say.
He's like, that's what I really want
to be. That's why he had the long hair.
Yeah.
See.
Love that dive off the roof video.
Oh my God. Legend, man. Absolute legend. But yeah, signs off of the match. So we'll have Shawn versus Christian for the US title at Elimination Survivor Series.
Yes.
I hate WWE for making that a pay-per-view.
It's okay. We never do it.
Yep. Good point. Another Too Cool Dudley package because
history.
Yep. Gotta get the history. Let's see. Raven tells Dreamer and Richards to challenge Jericho and Kane for the tag titles at Survivor Series, which Jericho is like, yeah, I can beat anybody. Look at this big guy next to me. You think I'm gonna lose?
Absolutely.
Bring it on.
I like that. Yeah, the confidence.
And then we close out the night. Triple H comes out with the Nature Boy, Ric Flair. Woo! And says that it's basically a done deal. Doesn't really matter who else SmackDown has. I think we have everybody now. Lesnar, Triple H, RVD, Mysterio, Taker.
Who's your guy? It's your person. So we both get two guys to pick. I picked Taker and Ray.
Yep.
Triple H earned his way in, and Brock's already there, so there's just one more Raw person.
Okay, I'll figure it out by the time.
That's fine. Yeah.
And somebody that Mick will leave as a surprise.
Sure, that's fine.
So doesn't really matter.
It's funny, in my mind, I thought it was going to be Christian and or Shawn.
Yeah, I figured it'd be better to just have them wrestle.
I'm not mad at.
I didn't want either one of them pinned.
Yeah, so. I'm not mad at the singles or the match they're doing.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that in my mind I assumed.
Yeah, right.
So this is a fun little idea. So this shirt came from ProWrestlingTees.com. And so this week I looked to see what it would require for me to open a Pro Wrestling Tees store.
Okay.
I think it said 10,000 followers on any social media or combined on social media. So I can't do that right yet.
Is that all it takes though?
Well, because it verifies that it's a wrestling channel in there.
Okay.
You know, because like Wrestling with Regret or Something to Wrestle With or Solid Monster Sounds Off, all those channels, they've got big time subs. So there's no doubt when you pop that channel up, you're like, oh, you good, right?
Yeah.
And so when I was looking, I was like, because they also have a backdoor version where you can pay to get it, but it's like, I might as well wait till we're actually viewed.
Yeah, that's smart. Yeah, because if you're not viewed, they're not going to buy the shirts anyway.
Exactly. But my point was, I wanted to mirror this AEW T-shirt that I saw on Pro Wrestling Tees, except instead of the Elite being the word with the wrestlers in it, was going to be Alpha. So it was going to be Alpha. Each letter would have a different wrestler. And I was talking to Ahmed and I said, I feel like Brock obviously would be the center one because he's like our undisputed.
He's our guy.
He's our guy.
Yeah.
And I was like, if I was to pick two people from Raw and two people from SmackDown, the two I would assume Jazz and Christian from Raw.
Yep.
Mark Henry and I think Rey Mysterio. Chuck Palumbo possibly, yeah.
Okay.
Like obviously in both cases there are more than two options.
Various options. I just figured you like just being a big fan of Chuck, and I was enjoying the work.
Oh, absolutely! I'm just trying to sell T-shirts. Though.
Yeah, smart. So
I was like,
putting Rey Mysterio on there.
I didn't think it would hurt anything.
$1 million strategy.
Yeah,
I like it.
And so the AEW shirt I'm talking about, I'll pop it up. It's drawings of the wrestlers. So I mean, I could put together a reasonably believable drawing of each of these wrestlers.
Yeah.
So I don't think that the Fed would come after me. Fingers crossed.
Nice. Well. Yeah, I think you could probably get away with it in all honesty.
Yeah, I mean, it would be my art. It wouldn't be their...
Yeah,
it wouldn't be their picture.
Yeah, their design, yeah. I think you can pull it off. But, yeah, so Triple H comes out, basically brags like, don't worry, I'm always 4 steps ahead of everyone.
Whew, I love that.
And then Brock comes out, F5s him, and closes out the show.
I love it.
I do what I can. But, Oz, tell me, go home show for SmackDown, what we got?
So, we open with Crash, Shannon, and Matt Hardy. They come to declare that in just 3 days, the MPAA will face the Iron Addicts on the pre-show of Survivor Series.
I don't think we've done a pre-show match yet, so that's pretty cool.
So I always try and keep us even, but because to do this tournament right, to get a shot at the Magnitude followers, I had to have one extra match, so I stole the pre-show.
Works for me.
Because like I said, I just like the idea of the pay-per-views being even, Steven.
Yeah, I like it.
So that the team that wins will advance on to face the Regal Counter Threat, and Team Booker T with mystery opponents.
Gotcha.
So, again, this is just informative stuff telling you about what's going on in the pay-per-view. Again, Matt sees himself as a benevolent god, a generous giver.
Bestower, man.
So, Rey Mysterio makes his case for winning the chamber, a promo package, saying, I might be small, but I've beat Mark Henry so I can overcome, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, of course.
So, after that, we see the first promo package for Nunzio. I know this is a heavy talking episode, but Nunzio's promo package airs, and it's very opera-oriented because we're getting over his heritage, right? And so I looked it up, and, over in Italy, they got a big opera culture, and each week it'll be a different Italian theme. Stereotype, there we go. Making me feel bad, but so
stereotype isn't always a bad thing.
I'm just kidding. So the first match of the night here on SmackDown is Big Daddy Cool Diesel, Kevin Nash. He's getting momentum after his loss last week to Chuck Palumbo. He is taking on the Tough Enough winner Maven, and obviously Kevin Nash makes pretty simple work out of Maven. Because I'm not really pushing Maven.
Yeah. Fair enough. Okay.
Even Steven.
Can't even be mad at it.
So post-match, even though Booker can't get Regal at the pay-per-view, we see Booker talking with Lance Storm in the back. And he challenges him, Lance that is, to have a match because Booker T feels as though Lance Storm has more going for him than what he's getting out of the Regal counter threat. Yeah. And so Storm accepts. He's a bad guy, but he's almost like an Imperium bad guy, meaning, yeah, we know you're bad, but you're still a really great wrestler.
I'm about to say, we appreciate your talent.
Yes, appreciate your talent. So next up, we have Justin Credible versus Jamie Noble. Lol, Noble wins.
Hey!
So, again, another...
Mrs. Splash roll-up?
Just something inventive, right?
Okay.
So let's say for actually we're gonna say something. So when I think of Justin Credible, I think of him wanting to kick Jamie Noble's head off.
Yes.
And so when Justin Credible goes for a super kick, not Sweet Chin Music, but a super kick.
Now with Shawn Michaels still in the company.
Jamie Noble catches the foot, twists the ankle, and before Jamie can even wrap his legs around Credible's legs, he taps out
immediately. I love it.
And so I just think it's far more believable for somebody to want to protect themselves than to fight and still give up.
Yeah.
So
makes sense. I mean, that's the Jericho logic.
Absolutely. And so from there the giant swing gimmick.
Yeah.
So next up we have Bishop Storm taking on Booker T. Even though the Regal counter threat are at ringside, Lance Storm still does something out of the Regal counter threat's character, and it's this. He shakes Booker T's hand.
Can't believe it.
And they're all taken aback, right?
Yeah.
Not just Queen Terry, not just King William, but so are Rook Nowinski and Night Test.
Yeah.
So much so that all throughout the match, they're chattering back and forth, all four of them. And it seems as though they keep edging their way closer and closer to the back until Lance Storm defeats Booker T. And then, lo and behold, they all just happen to be back at ringside.
Pop up at ringside.
Like, we're all back. Yeah, it's like we were always on your side.
We were here the whole time. This is what we meant. Yes.
Like, oh my goodness! It's so just sowing seeds of doubt.
Yeah.
On both sides, actually, both Storm and all the others.
And the rest of the squad.
So before we get to the main event match, which, lo and behold, actually features the Regal counter threat, we get one final promo to build toward Survivor Series. This time, it's the Dead Man. It is the Red Devil. It's the Undertaker, again, just like with Ray, stating his case. How he's had over a decade of
years.
Yeah, over a decade of destruction. How he's leading new pupils to prominence.
Digging holes and burying souls.
All that stuff. So, the main event tonight is King William challenging Chuck Palumbo for the World Television title, and almost the opposite of what happened with Lance Storm happens with William Regal. There's no handshake. There's no respect. William, he's nefarious. He's dirty. He's no good.
Every underhand attack.
Anything he can do, ropes and chop blocks and all kinds of anything that it is dirty, he's going there.
I love it.
But the thing is, Chuck Palumbo, he's a powerhouse. He's trained by the Dead Man, and furthermore, Taker comes out to the ringside, make sure that the extra bodies don't get involved, and Chuck Palumbo retains and comes out on top to close out SmackDown, and so we're leading into Survivor Series in
stylish fashion.
Oh my goodness, very exciting. It turns out I made a mistake going from SmackDown notes to Survivor Series. After reshuffling the deck, it turns out I did not need to book the 3-on-3 matches starting on the pre-show. The show opens up with the NPAA of Farouk, Bradshaw, and D'Lo versus the Iron Addicts, that being Jacked Johnny, Vascular Val, and Magic Mark. We have a lot of guys I'm a fan of in this equation.
Big buddies.
D'Lo Brown, guy I love a lot. Ron Simmons, one of my first favorites. Yeah, first time, all time. And Mark Jindrak is a guy that if I had the book today, if I had the ear of Tony Khan today, I would say, Luchasaurus, you're going to have you a nostalgia match against Mark Jindrak because I love that guy. For the TNT title, that is. I mean.
Oh, of course, yeah, right.
So,
so wouldn't he be wrestling Christian Cage?
Right, exactly. I love that gimmick.
Yeah, phenomenal.
Oh my god. So I don't know when I'll ever get to say this again, so I got to share with the viewing audience something I told you this week.
Oh, okay.
So I would love for Luchasaurus to open his eyes to Christian Cage, and the minute he does, goozle him by the neck and get gored by Rhino. So Luchasaurus, he calls out Christian the following week, and Rhino, because they both come out. And he says that's fine. I'll take both of you on. So he goozles both of them, and then he gets speared by Edge, or corner, or vertical, or whatever you want to call it.
Or Sexton Hardcastle.
There you go. So now, Luchasaurus the following week says, I'll take on all three of you. And this is when Tony...
Luchasaurus, man, despite that master's degree, is not very smart.
So Tony Khan says, I approve of the enthusiasm, yes. Luchasaurus.
Like the energy.
But I cannot permit you to take on these three legends of the game. Yeah. And so I am mandating that you have partners. And Luchasaurus says that, if I must, then you can pick them. And so Tony Khan, he sets it up. Whether it's a TV or a pay-per-view or whatever it is, it doesn't matter. But it is Christian, Edge, and Rhino versus the team I am dubbing the Space Cowboys of Gravity and Bandito teaming up with Luchasaurus. Reason being is, and I know this is corny as all heck, but I don't care. I like corny sometimes. When I see the team of the Space Cowboys, Gravity and Luchasaurus, or Gravity and Bandito teaming with Luchasaurus, I can't help but think of Toy Story. And so because of that, I just got to book that match.
Comedy.
Comedy, oh my goodness. Love it. So, as I was saying.
All right, let's survive this series.
So, Farouk wins the match because, again, he's one of my all-time favorites. He can pin Val Venus, not going to hurt Jack Johnny or Magic Mark. What is Raw opening up with here on the Survivor Series?
Come on, Oz, you already know.
I think I do.
It's Christian versus HBK for the U.S. title.
I'm all right with that.
It's the match that the people want to see. And for the sake of time, it's a great back-and-forth match. There's plenty of spots, but
I'm pretty sure I've seen this match before.
Yeah, I've seen this match a few times, so that's how I know it's good.
Yes.
But Christian, being smarter than everyone else in the room, decides to work on Shawn Michaels' knee. So, it's really hard to throw a super kick with one leg.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
because one of those legs have to go in the air and the other have to support you.
Exactly.
You can't support yourself, you're going down.
Yep, so either you kick with your bad knee, reduces the power of the kick, or you kick your leg out of your leg, as the legend Psycho Sid once said. And That's pretty much what Sean does. He throws the super kick. His supporting leg collapses underneath him. Christian locks on a figure four and actually gets a big submission victory over Shawn Michaels.
I like that.
Yeah. Why a figure four, you asked? I thought it would sound good.
Absolutely. Yeah. And how rarely do people win with that move? I mean, Charlotte obviously can do it.
No. She doesn't even use a figure four. It's 8.
Yeah,
She has the extra elevation.
Extra elevation. You're correct.
Hell, even Rick, famous for the move, barely won with that move.
So our next 3-on-3 single fall match is the Regal counter threat of Bishop Storm, Knight's Test, and Rook Nowinski versus Booker T and his 2 mystery partners. So, first, Booker's in the ring, and you hear that classic Diesel sound, right?
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. So, the man held the title, the WWF Championship, over a year. So, it makes good common sense that Booker T would choose Big Daddy Cool.
Diesel.
But the third man of this group is a former stablemate of Booker T from the Wednesday Night Wrestling Remix.
But who? Who could it be?
Well, you hear some classic words come over the speakers when a man with a very distinct voice says, "Holla, if you hear me," and you hear that siren, and so... Exactly. So Booker T says to Scott Steiner when he gets in the ring, he says, "BFG, brother, best first generation." And so Kevin Nash, being a first generation wrestler himself, is the newest member of BFG, the reformed faction from the old WCW.
The AEW version.
Yes, the AEW version of our former WCW BFG, which was Rick, Scott, and Booker in that world.
Of course.
Scott Steiner, he puts Nowinski in a Steiner recliner, which I think he may have actually did on this show realistically, because this Survivor Series was the debut of Scott, but in the real world, he was a free agent.
Yeah.
And he makes a fool out of a few guys from both shows.
Yeah, that makes more sense. All
right, we're up for the Raw match.
Yes. So we close out the series with Too Cool and the Dudley Boys. Falls Count Anywhere. And they go all over the arena. They're fighting in the crowd, out of the crowd, ringside. In fact, they fight pretty much everywhere but the ring.
I like it, yeah.
It's phenomenal. So, to make a long story short, they end up in the back. They're brawling. There's how the WWE has like those flight cases?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So they stuff Rikishi in one of those.
Oh, are they big enough?
Think.
Okay.
Well, I mean, they carry some big equipment.
That's
so
true.
In theory,
yes.
I would think.
And even
you know what? They fit all the Spirit Squad in one.
That's true. I was gonna say, but even if they don't naturally, they can always just custom make one.
Yeah.
I mean, they did it for Yoko. They can do it for.
They did it for Big Show.
Yes, exactly.
But yeah, they lock him in. They kind of like push him off to the side and like just buried in junk.
Of course, yeah.
Whatever the junk may be.
Very Braun Strowman-esque.
Yeah. Exactly. That's a great comparison.
He's done a lot of chaos in his days.
Big time. But of course, this leaves my guy Scotty to go 1-on-2 with the Dudley Boys. And Dudley Boys aren't one of the greatest tag teams in the world for no reason.
Absolutely.
So, as much as I love Scotty, catching a 3D through a table in the back is pretty much a recipe for disaster for him.
For sure.
And this ends
the Too Cool. Yeah.
This ends Too Cool's chapter in AEW.
Yeah,
it was a great run. Had great tag team title runs, great feuds.
Can I mention something?
Yeah, absolutely.
The Dudley Boys have ended 2 great teams. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think that is something to write home about.
Right. It's another feather in the cap along with them being a tag team champion in every single company they've been in.
Yes.
I'm not sure because I don't think they've ever been in ROH, but have they been the ROH tag champions?
I don't think they were ever there as a team. I know Bubba was 6-man champs with the Briscoes.
Yes, that one I remember.
But I don't think Devon was wrestling.
Was he about retired or working for WWE?
A little bit of both. Yeah. Basically the same thing. When you're working them back at WWE,
you're about to say when you're a producer, it pretty much means your career is over.
Yes. So when it comes to the trios championship match, we're down to the MPAA of Farouk, Bradshaw, D'Lo. And they are taking on the team of BFG. Booker, Kevin, and Scotty.
Got it.
Yeah, Scott Steiner.
Yeah, darn. I was piecing it together.
And so with that, so Scott, he tapped out Nowinski.
Mm-hmm.
Here we have Kevin Nash hitting D'Lo with the jackknife powerbomb. 1, 2, 3. They advance on after winning 2 matches, mind you. They advance on to face the Mattitude followers after Josiah's next match for the Team Extreme Tornado titles.
Cool. And my next match, keeping with trios action, actually.
Oh, yeah, it's the ladies' elimination match.
Yes. And our only technical Survivor Series match.
Of course. But that's good. I like it.
Yes.
Because they didn't do one. So.
Yeah, I'm about to say, so that makes us better.
Absolutely.
Good job, us.
Yes.
So we have the newly formed Black Widows Alliance versus Jazz, Nydia, and Molly Holly.
Yes.
So, pretty much I'll just run down the eliminations because it's really hard to talk through a 6-person tag team match.
Absolutely.
We start with Jazz getting disqualified after pushing the ref by. So it's a classic. Listen to my instructions as she's beating the crap out of Ivory in the corner, and she pretty much just shoves the ref out of the way.
So her anger has boiled over.
Yes, and the referee is like, you know what? I can disqualify you and the match won't end. So get out of here.
Yeah, I like that. Makes sense.
Yep. So that cuts down Jazz. We are down 2-3.
Yep.
Next, we have Lydia getting her first pinfall victory over Ivory. Hitting, so I had to look up moves for Nydia because I couldn't remember what her finisher was.
Sure. Did she ever have one?
No.
Okay.
So
I wouldn't have been surprised.
Yeah. However, she did throw a mean Northern Light suplex, almost Alicia Fox-X.
Okay.
So that is her finisher in our universe.
That sounds good to me.
So it's a mean.
Oh my goodness, dude.
Yeah.
That reminded me.
What's up?
So I was watching this match, Dalton Castle versus who was
Jay
it?
White.
No, it was a week before.
Shane Taylor.
Maybe it was a week before that. But regardless, I was watching this match.
Well, I say Dalton Castle had a great match.
Yeah, Dalton Castle had a great match. He kneed his opponent in the gut, and kneed whatever. They went up to the top rope.
Oh, I know this spot.
He did, and then he went on the outside and hit a running knee, and the opponent went to the outside.
Oh my God. Oh, who was it?
I don't remember.
I can't remember.
But it's a great spot.
Yeah, it's a phenomenal spot.
My point is, I stole that and give a wrestler as their finish.
Oh,
so a member of my roster who has not yet been introduced is going to get that running knee to the outside as their finish going forward, because I saw that and I was like, how is that not the end of the match?
I'm about to say, why is the match not over?
I was like, how is this not the end?
My God. Yeah, because I know exactly the spot you're talking about.
Yeah, it was so memorable.
Oh my God. Yeah, that was like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
That's why I couldn't remember.
Yeah, so, it's just, we binge a lot, so.
Yeah, I'm about to say just smash everything together. I got you. But yeah. Where was I?
Nydia finisher, Northern Lights.
Northern Lights on Ivory, getting the pin on Ivory.
So now we're even.
Yes, now we're even 2-2. Victoria hits the Widow's Peak on Nydia, getting her up out of here. And we're down to my girl Molly.
Yeah.
And Molly.
She's mighty.
Mighty. Quite mighty. Big back and forth between Molly and Victoria. Ends with Molly hitting a roll-up on Victoria for the 1-2-3. Victoria, the champion, is pinned.
Yes.
However, Victoria, the champion, is not a fan of being pinned.
No kidding.
And especially since this is their first pinfall loss
since debut.
Period.
Yeah.
I'm about to say in her career.
Yep.
So, of course, she takes that about as well as you think she does.
And the bright side is she can't be disqualified.
Exactly.
She's already eliminated.
5 steps ahead, big brain play. Beats the ever-loving-ish out of poor Molly. Hits a Widow's Peak, leaving my girl Jackie Moore to just go ahead, pick the bones, roll her over, and get the 1-2-3 Black Widow Alliance with their first victory.
I like it. That's smart. Smart booking.
Man, speaking of smart booking, what's this trio stack looking like?
As you may know from watching this show, because lots of people actually do watch this show.
Yeah,
the most recent one.
Appreciate you guys.
Yes, absolutely. Like, share, subscribe, comment below. But the most recent video is up there. It's doing real good.
Yeah.
But in that most recent, we saw the further evolution of what Matt Hardy is doing with the Cruiserweight title. So it started, he instituted the captain rule where you can only pin the captain.
Yes.
and the falls count anywhere, the Team Extreme rules, right?
Yep. Tornado.
Then he introduced a third title.
Yes.
But the thing is, even though he's being very inventive with this division, he's not being very defending with this division, right?
Oh, that doesn't sound like Matt.
And so here, Matt, Shannon, and Crash, they face their biggest challenge since these titles were introduced, that being former world champion Kevin Nash, former world champion Booker T, and, sorry Scotty, never world champion in our world, Scott Steiner.
Oh yeah, I forgot we didn't do that.
Yeah, so when him and Booker aligned together, he didn't get a run with the title.
Right.
But he's still a very decorated champion.
About to say multi-time tag champion.
Absolutely. And
So,
I think he held every secondary title in WCW.
Yeah, that's about right, yeah.
Either him and his brother, they had all of them at one point. But the point
between
is,
the two of them.
in this semi-main event, Booker T, Kevin Nash, and Scott Steiner, they all hit big-time power moves. Scotty hits the Steiner screwdriver on
Jesus Christ, that's a nasty move.
on Crash Holly.
Yep.
Kevin Nash hits the jackknife on Shannon, and Booker T hits the scissors kick on Matt Hardy, landing the 1-2-3, crowning brand new Team Extreme Tornado champions. And from this point forward, spoiler, it will no longer be scaredy cat time for this division. It'll be
division time for this division.
Well, I was gonna say it's like we're turning on the badassness, right? So these are all three guys who can deliver, and so then they do.
I'm about to say ring generals.
Yes.
In the highest order.
Oh, absolutely, man! I'm so stoked for this co-branded main event, the first ever.
Hold up, we still got. I have two more things.
Okay, go for it.
Yep.
I was just saying I'm excited for the main event.
Oh yeah, no, this main event will be great.
Yeah.
But before that, we have Jericho and Kane versus Hardcore Vice. For the tag team titles. It's all good. It's all good.
That's what happens when I get jumping the gun.
Yep. Yeah, because I just have a segment after this.
That's
it's
all
just, for ha-ha, giggles.
Sure.
For the very, very
While they
brutal,
lower down the cage.
Yeah, for the very brutal, very dangerous match that's coming right after.
Absolutely.
But yeah, basically just to keep it short, Jericho and Kane retain because it's Dreamer and Richards versus Jericho.
Of course, yeah. Two of those guys on one side are tip-top guys, and the other two are
legends.
Yes, right, but
they're not Jericho and Kane.
Correct. Yeah.
Multi-time world champions. Absolutely. Jericho and Kane.
I just realized while I was talking down about Steven and Dreamer that they both all are actually former ECW world champions.
Yeah.
That's why
which is why it was funny.
Yeah. But it's just there's a different level when you look at it.
I'm about to say this is AEW, damn it. This ain't ECW.
Exactly.
This ain't bingo halls and peasant leagues.
Peasant leagues.
As Jericho said as he was walking off, like doing like the Roman Reigns style, talking ish to the camera as he leaves.
Yes.
But yes, fun little match. And then retaining the tag titles, obviously.
Yes.
And then in the back we have Goldust, kind of looking around, and Billy Gunn sitting. What's the equivalent of sitting on your phone in 2002?
I have a thought crossing my mind, so we'll just do that. You remember that time that Brock Lesnar was reading that hunting magazine?
Yes.
So Billy can be looking at Asses Are Us.
Oh, that's phenomenal.
The magazine or something there.
Nope, that fits perfectly with Billy's character.
Yes.
And Goldust walks up to Billy and is like, Billy, I couldn't help but notice how you don't have any friends anymore. And, I couldn't help but notice how I don't have any friends anymore. So I think we could be friendless together.
Right.
And Billy says, nah. Absolutely not.
Love that.
And then walks away. And while all that was happening, we're getting ready for our main event of the evening.
Love it. So, yeah, they lower that ominous structure full of chains and miles of damaging danger and bull crap.
Yeah, JR reads off the stat list that Michael Cole reads off every single Elimination Chamber. Except this time it's the first time, so it's actually special.
Special, yeah. The first time's always a big deal, but, I mean, my God. How many
years 3,000 repeats afterwards, not so much.
Yeah, so, but yeah, undisputed champion, Brock Lesnar, defending against SmackDown's The Undertaker and Rey Mysterio, and also from Raw,
we have Triple H, Rob Van Dam,
and one final competitor,
who, I don't know if you noticed, but in that tag match with Hardcore Vice, they were lacking a certain human being, a certain mentor, certain leader, if you will.
I did notice that he was not there.
Yeah, that's because he's in this match.
All right.
Our hardcore champion, Raven, has Ravened his way into this match.
I like it.
By convincing Mick that,
hey,
you need to bring the danger.
Yes.
It is very dangerous structure.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, Raven and Mick Foley are both ECW stalwarts. I'm all for it. Let's do it.
Yep. It makes the most sense, especially since I'm not going to have Raven in like 2 months. So,
yes, that's
better
smart.
use him.
Yes. I think it's more a little less than that. I don't know what day in January, but
Hold up, because I just got it marked down on the old.
So I don't know.
The 6th. He's gone on the 6th.
Yeah, so it's basically
week.
it's basically not even a month.
First,
2 months.
very first week.
So my question is this: did you book the match via elimination, or did you just know who wins? Because all I did was notate who won.
Yeah, so I notated who won and how he won.
Okay, perfect. Then let's fast forward to the finish of said match, because like I said, I didn't book the. I just knew we both agreed who was winning, so I just let it go.
Yep. So I'll go ahead and bring it home since technically they're both my guys anyway.
Absolutely.
So, basically, yada yada, blah blah blah, blood and guts.
Yes.
We're down to just Triple H and Brock Lesnar, and Triple H, bloody mess. I'm gonna say for semantics, just because it was funny. Triple H entered 6th and Brock entered 1st.
That makes sense to me.
Yep. And yet,
Can I make another point?
Yeah.
So, not whoever, but since we're down to just the first and the last, I think that the last person who got eliminated should be Rey Mysterio. So
Yeah.
he's been taking a beating this whole time. Obviously,
legend of the game.
Legend of getting beat down.
Yeah.
And so he is eliminated. They open that said door to get his dead carcass out of there.
Mm-hmm.
Then what happens?
Yeah, actually, that's perfect. So I did want to add a couple things before that.
Absolutely.
That's actually perfect. So that spot where Triple H gets his larynx crushed
Yes.
still happens.
Of course.
Because how could it not? I mean,
Yeah. Well, because we don't unbook injuries. That's why.
Exactly. So, and it's still Rob, because
Yes.
so which is why I put him in the match.
Absolutely.
But yes, so they get poor dead Rey Mysterio's carcass out of the ring, and Ric Flair runs in and distracts the referee. Paul Heyman comes in to try and stop him, and of course Rick just decks him.
Of course, yeah. Well, 2 managers, but one of these managers is a former 16-time world champion.
Technically 24 if you want to be real
Of course, yeah.
But
it's
yeah.
I just go by what they recognize, but I understand that there are far more
accurate.
Yeah, accurate analysis.
Yes, but former 16-time world champion Ric Flair versus never wrestled a day in his life Paul Heyman. Yeah, slight difference.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Flair decks Heyman, and in comes a debuting Dave Batista.
Love it.
Literally just Batista.
Yes.
And Randall Keith Orton.
Love it. So the beauty of this Ric Flair Paul Heyman spot isn't, to me, that the referee need to be distracted.
No.
Because anything goes in this match.
Right,
What it
is
it prevents the referee from relocking the door.
Exactly.
Much like how recently Montez Ford had this sell spot.
Yeah.
Selling spot.
Yes.
Where everybody thought, oh my God, is he really hurt?
Dead? Is he injured? And then 5 seconds later, we're like, oh,
Logan Paul's here, and we're like, oh, thank God it's a work.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because I was actually concerned for his well-being.
Until you see Logan Paul, then you're like, oh, everything's
thank
fine.
God. That's the one time I was happy to see Logan Paul
Exactly.
in my whole life.
But yeah, no, that's why I'm glad you did the Ric Flair spot, because like obviously I did the Mysterio getting out of their gimmick to leave the door open, but that you kept the door open. Yes.
See, and this is why we're a great team.
Absolutely, I agree.
But yeah, so you remember that Batista Bomb RKO combo?
Of course I do.
Debris.
Yeah.
Debris.
Yes.
Yeah. So
it's in every 2K game.
Yeah, it is. It is. So yeah, that's what they know Brock with. Then of course, Triple H picks him up with a classic Triple H shit-eating grin. Hits a pedigree, rolls Brock over. 1, 2, 3. We have a new, 2-time undisputed champion. Triple H.
I love the slow progression of the creation of Evolution within the context of the story. So, if you remember right, on this channel, Triple H won the undisputed championship for Chris Jericho in the opening match of WrestleMania. He did that as a babyface.
Yes.
But every freaking week since AEW existed, he's been edging ever closer to the heel side of the ledger.
Yep.
whether he's gambling with Rick, whether there's girls, whether it's jet flying, limousine riding, all the good stuff. And oh my goodness, that familiar cramp. I love that you did that tease.
Yes.
Oh, so good.
Yep. And that's the other thing. The other thing is just like, even building up to this show, he's been getting double team, triple team, et cetera, because no one likes Triple H.
Yes.
So
of course you have to bring in fresh blood.
You have to find friends.
Yes.
And who are his friends?
Please tell me we open with it's time to play the game.
You know how we do.
Okay, it's gotta be that way.
I'm about to say at this point it's like a rule. It's like how we close the show is how we open.
I know.
This point.
Dude, I literally thought about rebooking the open of my show with Brock Lesnar just because that's the thing. I didn't know you were closing Raw with him, but when you did, I was like, oh, I kind of want to do this.
I'm about to say it's perfect, right? Yeah. Ah, man. But yeah, we walk out and it's Triple H and with his new championship over his shoulder and the Nature Boy Ric Flair. They walk out alone, so Triple H can hype up his boys. You know, he introduces. What is Orton, a third generation?
He is, yes.
The third generation wrestler, Randy Orton. Legacy a mile long and a river wide or something
like that. Yeah.
And Batista, who was not a deacon, so this is the first time the audience sees Batista.
It's because that was, unnecessary.
Be stupid.
And we never did it, so...
He did have a funny story about that. So apparently, like, he only had $500 in his pocket. And, like, Vince told him, okay, you're going to need a suit. You're going to need to buy a nice suit. Buys this nice $500 suit. First thing they do when he gets to the arena is tear the sleeves off of it. Poor Dave,
That's
man.
so Vince.
So Vince. Felt so bad for him. But yeah, they walk out looking jacked, looking handsome as all can be, dressed to the nines in their $1 million suits, which is why I told that suit story 2 seconds ago.
Yes.
And tells the people that they're looking at the evolution of professional wrestling. And then
it's the legitimate promo where Triple H says you can look to the past with Ric Flair and Randy is the next diamond the piece of coal to be crushed into
a diamond.
Yeah, in our
pressure
business.
and yada yada.
Yeah, all that. It's a great promo.
Yep.
It's just we're doing it a few months early, but
a few months early, better.
Yeah, absolutely.
Different. Yeah. But you know, baby stuff.
Yes.
Obviously, Mick is heated. Comes out. First of all, says, listen, I don't appreciate how you won this world championship. However, since you are now the world champion, I do have to keep you alive in order to defend the world championship. Hence why I suspended Brock Lesnar and then like there's a camera that goes to the back and you just see the backstage area completely wrecked.
Love it.
Like not even, you don't see Brock, you don't see anything. There's just bodies. There's broken
everything.
Yes, everything. Like, you just see the aftermath, which I feel like is more powerful than in watching Brock do it. But it says Brock is suspended indefinitely after destroying most of the arena and the arena they were at for Elimination Chamber. No, Jesus Christ.
For the Elimination Chamber match at Survivor Series.
There you go. Mick says Flair has been abusing his power too much and for too long. And this is when the board of directors, represented by one Linda, don't know her middle name, McMahon, comes out.
Linda, all the personality of McMahon.
There you go.
Her parents just knew.
Yeah, their parents knew. Charisma personified.
Exactly.
But first thing she does is says, I, representing the AEW board of directors, the first thing I would do is hereby strip Ric Flair of his presidency.
Woo!
Ric Flair is like, classic Rick. He's ripping off his jacket, throwing it to the ground, dropping elbows.
Yes.
Classic Rick. And then she says...
Yeah, the board giveth, the board can taketh away.
Big time. And Linda says, and you know, we need to give it someone who's fair, just, unbiased. Mick, you won the job. Mick happily accepts, which, of course, leaves a void.
Yes.
Yeah, like, we now don't have a GM of Monday Night Raw.
Yeah,
Mick Foley can't do 2 jobs.
Well, not only that, but with this new role, he will have to oversee both shows. Exactly. He has to partake in Stephanie's goings-on on SmackDown, and has to also lend a hand to Raw.
Exactly.
So it makes good sense. He can't do both roles.
Yep.
He can't be impartial that way.
Yep. And you know, my girl Linda acknowledges that. So she introduces the new GM of Monday Night Raw.
Does he kiss her? Because Vince would smile if he did that.
Yeah.
Because he did. He booked that. He booked that crap.
Yeah, he would.
Why did you do that, Vince? Explain yourself.
He's a weird man.
That is
true.
true.
Really weird man.
He wanted to be the father of his daughter's child.
Yeah, the less I try to remember that storyline, the better.
I'm just glad she said no.
Yeah, thank God Stephanie has good sense.
Absolutely.
But yes, the new GM, and a very similar shock and awe moment. You hear the "I'm back,
and better than ever."
Eric Bischoff is the new general manager.
I want him to hug Linda so big,
and he's just got this big grin on his face. The whole
course.
audience is they're not booing, they're not cheering, they're just like,
yeah, shocked.
This is Undertaker losing at WrestleMania, just levels of shock.
Love it.
Actually, I could probably just use the actual moments.
Absolutely. So the first thought that popped in my head when Ric Flair is standing in the ring, losing his mind, is fire me. I'm already fired.
I'm already fired.
Fired me. I'm already fired. Love it. Oh, so good.
Legend. And of course, Eric, big grin, hugs Linda. Linda's like, stop touching me.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want that.
Stop touching me. So he goes to shake Mick's hand. Mick just says, nah. And he says, you want a hug too.
Exactly. I'm so glad you did that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because in ECW, Mick Foley would tell Tommy Dreamer to accept the warm, loving embrace of Uncle Eric.
Yeah.
And so I love that Eric gave him that warm, loving embrace.
That he's always wanted.
So good.
But yeah, so the first move of Bischoff, because Bischoff's all about that dollar bill, that money. What's gonna make money?
Yes.
The new world champion in action tonight. With his new, obviously.
Perfect.
Yes, with his new stable in tow.
Yeah.
But that's 4 people, man. That's an 8-man tag. So we gotta get a star-studded event. Something to really christen me as a general manager.
Oh well, dude, this is exciting.
Man. So
I like Eric, and this is exciting because he did come into his GM role wanting to make waves.
Yep.
And so you're keeping that alive.
Yeah, you know me. But so obviously Eric says, Rick, I know you just got fired, but I'm such a great guy.
I'm gonna
give you a wrestler's contract. Congrats, you're back in the ring, baby. Rick, of course, more heated than he was before, because now not only does he have no power, but now he's just a wrestler again.
Yes.
God, heartbreaking. But so speaking of heartbreaking, the opponents for the night will be Triple H's best friend, the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels. The man he went to war with last night, the United States champion Christian.
How's Shawn going to walk? The questions we ask.
The questions we ask. Don't worry, all will be answered later tonight in the main event. You also have John Cena. Man, good job, Oz. Good. And then the man who crushed Triple H's larynx.
Oh, yeah.
Rob
Yes.
Van Dam.
Yes.
It's all coming full circle.
Love it.
And that is the first probably 30 minutes of Raw.
Yeah.
That was a lot of content.
we went 8 minutes there just with that. Yeah. But no, that's all really good stuff. I'm a big fan of the progress that you've made.
Thank you.
I was curious because we'd already talked about the idea of Eazy-E sliding into that role.
Yeah, but
Rick moving out, Mick moving up, all that.
And it had to be logical too. It couldn't just do it.
Of course.
I mean, we could have, but we're not Vince.
Of course.
So,
yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. I think all of it, all the pieces fit perfectly into place.
Yeah, and just it's both our universe. I had to make sure it's something you would agree to, as well.
For sure. No, I'm a big fan.
Awesome.
I'm glad that we waited to bring up Randy and Dave.
Yeah, because bringing them up earlier, Randy had that weird thing with Stacy and Vince, which was just bad.
He had a bunch of pointless matches with Bob Holly, Brock Lesnar. All went nowhere. So it's why not just wait and do the right thing at the right time?
Yeah.
So we did.
Yep. So that's exactly what we did. So much happened in the beginning, so I forgot that I do have the rest of the show to book.
Absolutely.
So, we start off cooling it down a little bit. Nice backstage interview with our boy, Shane Helms.
Yes.
Ace Reporter. And basically, Shane has guessed hardcore advice, but Raven's paying absolutely no attention to him. He's sitting over here berating Dreamer and Richards for losing and making him look bad.
Which is hilarious because he lost the
Because he also
chamber.
lost. hence the comedy is just never ending.
Of course, yeah. No, it's very Raven.
Yeah,
that's so Raven, if you will.
That's so Raven. Classic.
Yes.
But yeah, that's pretty much all that is. Molly, obviously, after pinning the champion, comes out and says, "Hey, I pinned the champion. I feel like I should have the next championship match."
I can't disagree with it.
Yes, and of course the Black Widow Society comes out, and in classic Victoria fashion, she says, "Absolutely not." No.
Yes, that is her go-to thing.
Yes, I don't care. But we'll have more to say about that next week. Next up, next segment, we have Billy in the bathroom. He is unfortunately out of toilet paper, the poor guy. What's a man to do? He's over here panicking. He doesn't know how he's going to...
That's a place you don't want to be.
That's the worst position a man could be. But Goldust, there for him, right when he needs... Just like Jake from State Farm. There with a roll of toilet paper says, "I got you, buddy. I'm here for you." And just think, just like I'm here for you now, I can be here for you each and every week as your tag team partner. Billy happily accepts the roll of toilet paper, but still refuses Goldust's offer.
Oh, that's great.
Let's see, what else? Next, we have the Dudleys giving props to Too Cool for being a phenomenal tag team, but just another stepping stone in the great legacy of the Dudley Boys.
Wait, I have a question.
Yeah, what's up?
Are Too Cool out there, or are they cutting the promo? Dudley's cutting the promo
Nope.
by themselves.
Cutting the promo by themselves.
Just checking, because when I imagined them there, it gave me Hardy's versus Edge and Christian vibes from their first ladder match, their Terry Invitational Tournament, if you will. But it also felt unlikely due to the shipping. Well, the shipping box too.
Yeah.
So just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, nobody's seen Rikishi since actually, and Scotty is very much hospitalized.
Yes, makes perfect sense.
Yeah. So Dudley's, of course, having won against one of the best teams in Raw history, actually scratch that, one of the best teams in AEW history.
Yes.
Dudley's challenge for the tag titles next week.
Cool.
And then, finally, our main event of the evening.
Can I say something before we get to
Yeah,
that
what's
event?
up?
So it feels like an extra justification for Jericho and Kane to have defeated two former ECW World Champions now that they're being challenged by ECW legends.
The ECW tag team.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I thought that had some symmetry to it.
Thank you. That was my thought process at the time, because I'm like, well, I know I want them to feud with the Dudleys, but I feel like...
It's hilarious. So I've been actually booking the next 3 months backwards.
Yeah.
No. Whatever. I've been booking backwards.
I know what you meant.
So I was like, I know what I want to happen here, but how do I get there? So I've been doing it backwards.
Yeah. Because that's booking 101.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It works out perfectly. But, yeah, so your main event. So, of course, I completely forgot this until I looked it up, but apparently Orton's hurt, and I completely forgot he was hurt.
Really?
Like, yeah, his shoulder was dislocated at this time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he was out for a while. So his involvement in this match is Christian fighting him to the back, and we don't see either one of them again.
That's cool.
So that way he didn't wrestle.
Yeah, that's good.
Still,
yeah,
adhering to the rules.
Absolutely smart.
Let's see. And there's a lot of back and forth, a lot of yada yada. But the main thing I want to get across in this segment is that John Cena turns heel, nailing Rob Van Dam with a low blow and an FU. Nailing Rob with a low blow, hitting an FU on Shawn Michaels.
Cool. And
Triple H, with the coward's cover, just crawls real slow, like think Booker T, WrestleMania 19. And
so it took him about an hour and a half to get there.
3 to 4 days at minimum. Drapes an arm over Shawn Michaels and gets the 1, 2, 3.
And smiles the whole way home. I like it.
Over his old friend. Orton comes back out with the shoulder hanging off. So we're like, we did it. We did it. I escaped Christian.
I like it. Oh, that's smart.
And then Batista, of course, hoists Triple H up on his shoulders.
Start that early.
Getting that nice
and early. Visual in there.
Yeah, Rick hands Triple H the title. He holds off Evolution, standing tall, going off here.
Oh, it's so beautiful.
What we got for SmackDown, Oz?
If it wasn't for the fact that I was having a 12-year celebration tonight in the main event, I would be scared to follow that there Raw. But I'm not scared to follow that Raw because before we even open the show, before anybody gets in the ring, before anybody ties up, before any action happens, the graphic pops up and it says, tonight is the 12-year celebration of the Phenom, the Dead Man, the Red Devil, the Undertaker. He is challenging his protege, Big Evil, Chuck Palumbo.
What a match.
For said television title.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
And so, yeah, because it's November, because it's
Undertaker month.
Yeah, it's Undertaker month. Yeah, and so he's getting the main event slot with his protege.
Man, I appreciate you giving me this early birthday present.
Oh,
such a good friend.
My pleasure. So we open the show after that announcement. We open up with the best first generation: Booker T, Kevin Nash, and Scott Steiner. They all come out. I feel like they ought to have a group music because each one of the three's music are so distinct as their solo act that I think they need group music. Don't know what it is, but I'm just saying.
Really unify.
But when they get to the ring, Scotty's doing Scotty things, Booker's doing Booker things, and Kevin Nash, he pays tribute to his brother. He grabs that mic and he says, "Chalk one more up to the good guys," and the crowd goes wild. So then we hear Matt Hardy's music play because the graphic pops up and the Mattitude followers have instituted their rematch. We go at it. It is pure tornado chaos.
Love it.
To open this here episode of SmackDown, like they're in the.
What is this? An episode of Raw? Just straight chaos to open up the show.
So,
my God.
Well, that's the beauty of this division is that it can go all over the place.
Yeah.
Nobody has to tag. That's why I tried my best not to say that word when I talk about this division.
Fair.
But while Booker and Matt are fighting up on the staging area,
of course,
and while Kevin is pounding down on Crash in the announce table booth area.
Two 700-pounders going at it.
Yeah, exactly. That's why the table couldn't stand.
Couldn't hold it.
Scott Steiner taps out Shannon Moore in the middle of the ring, retaining the tornado tag or the
tornado team.
Yeah, the Team Extreme Tornado Championship, exactly. So post match, it is announced that that Mark Henry, the first ever AEW television champion, will face either Chuck Palumbo or The Undertaker next week in the main event because it's we're breaking tradition. So normally I'll open or I'll close with a TV title match and I'll open with a TV title match.
Yes.
We're pre-announcing that the winner of The Undertaker and Chuck Palumbo will face Mark Henry because he was the first ever television champion. He's coming back for the title he made famous next week.
Love it.
So, Bishop Storm, accompanied to the ring by Night Test, Rook Nowinski, Queen Terry, and King William, he defeats relatively easily, Spike Dudley.
Poor Spike.
So Little Spike, he's doing his best, but at any time that Lance has the opportunity, he knocks Spike out of the ring, and the numbers game is just too much for him.
Of course.
Because even though Lance is trying to see the light, trying to do the right thing, he's still a bad guy at heart.
I'm about to say, you are the company you keep.
Oh, that's so good.
Thank you.
So next up, we have the Iron Addicts of Magic Mark, Jacked Johnny, and Vascular Val, defeating local competitors. After the match, we see the follow-up to that operatic Nunzio package. This one's not opera related, but it's just another piece of Italian culture.
Of course. So like spaghetti or pizza or something. Like he's a chef.
So it's not food related, but it's like the area of.
Okay, so like a Roman gladiator maybe.
Yeah, you see the city,
scenery.
The scenery, the cityscape. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
So when we come back from the commercial after that beautiful display,
of course,
we have Funaki versus Jamie Noble. But the odd thing about this match is that the Iron Addicts never left. They stayed after. Yeah, they stayed after they beat the local competitors. They all have folding chairs that they sat out,
got comfortable.
Got comfortable, but
ate their not popcorn but protein powder.
So the thing is that if you look at Jamie Noble, he has a couple of things going for him. One, he's not in bad shape.
No,
but two, he is on the winning path. And so after Jamie Noble defeats Funaki, the Iron Addicts, they just seem impressed. They don't actually make a move this time, but the seeds have been planted for
by
a recruiting effort, if you will. And so I forgot that I did this. So Stephanie McMahon, she's up on the stage. And she welcomes the former president of Alpha Entertainment Worldwide, her husband Triple H, and the newest recruits, Randy Orton and Dave Bautista. And so it's just a pure love fest. Stephanie, like I said, she loves her husband.
Oh,
She respects Ric Flair, and she sees the promise of the two young guns. But before anyone besides Stephanie can say anything, because all she's done is introduce them.
Right.
They all get interrupted by a very familiar sound, and that being Viva la Raza. So Eddie Guerrero interrupts, but normally when you have a babyface, in this case a babyface champion, Intercontinental champion, interrupting heels, you would think that maybe he would chastise them, lay down some,
I guess.
What you guys doing thing. No, man.
Especially Eddie.
Eddie, he respects game. He says he comes out here to shake the hand of Ric Flair, to bow down to the King of Kings. He says, look at this kid with the sling. He's like, what's he even doing?
That's awesome.
He says, guys, I love it. He's like, I'm trying to get my family back together. I'm sure you guys watch SmackDown. It's a great show. And you guys just give me something to look forward to. He's like, what you guys doing?
I love
totally what I got going on.
Oh, it's so wonderful.
And so again, Rick, Triple H, none of the heels have said anything. They're just like, I thought we were here to celebrate us.
Yeah. I thought this was my time.
And so they all get frustrated with Eddie's upbeat nature, and they just walk off. So Stephanie is not too pleased with Eddie.
How dare you embarrass me in front of my husband?
And so again, these are seeds being planted to be grown into fruit later. But we now go to the main event segment, that being the television championship match of Big Evil Chuck Palumbo taking on the Red Devil, The Undertaker. And on his 12-year anniversary celebration, The Undertaker defeats his protege.
Well, damn!
Wins the television title.
Good for Big Evil.
Yeah,
good for Booger Red. No, good for Red Devil.
Yes. The Dead Man.
Way too many nicknames.
Well, yeah, so I did that to, again, like, Chuck has looked good. Chuck has done good work, but The Undertaker's The Undertaker.
I say, yeah.
Yeah, so
Undertaker's just something different, man.
Absolutely.
There's a reason he had all this longevity and retired, 2 years ago?
And there's always a question mark when it comes to The Undertaker and retirement, too.
Yeah, very true.
It is now time for the final Raw of the month. What do you got, my friend?
Well, we open up the show. We have my boy, Rob Van Dam, coming out very upset, very not cool. He did not smoke his weed this evening because he's serious times 9,000. He calls out John Cena and challenges him to a match tonight. And who do you think walks out, Oz?
I'm guessing not John Cena?
Man, you would be great at guessing. It is actually our new general manager, Eric Bischoff.
Oh, Eazy-E, okay.
Eazy-E. Comes out and says...
I have one request.
Yeah,
can you please call him Robbie V?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
So he says, my man, Robbie V, let me talk to you. Now I think he's LA Knight.
Yeah, right.
But regardless, he says, unfortunately, Cena's not here tonight. My bad. I probably should have made him show up, but had to let the crowd cool down from all that heat.
Absolutely.
But you know what they say, controversy creates cash, and
that's a good book, by the way.
Yes.
You read that?
I haven't.
Oh,
I heard it was a phenomenal book.
Absolutely.
I'm about to say, to be fair, the concept makes sense.
Yes.
But Eric says, being the ingenious promoter that I am, everything goes well when I have my finger on the pulse. So obviously I gotta have time to promote something this big. Van Dam versus Cena? Come on.
That's actually a good argument.
Yeah. So, how about this, Rob? Robbie V, baby.
Too bad he didn't take that time to promote Bill Goldberg versus Hulk
Hogan. Yeah, baby steps,
Live and learn.
Live and learn,
yeah.
right? But he said, you'll have that match next week. Don't you worry about it, Robbie V. And Rob, fighting all the urges to not kick him in the face, just says, thanks. Walks out. And that is the segment, my friends.
If ever there comes a point in time where he does let Eric know that he's going to kick him in the head, I would love for Eric to be like, I'm a black belt.
Yeah, what is he, like a 3rd-degree black belt, too? He's like something that's absolutely ridiculous. I'm like, no, you're not. Don't lie, bro. But regardless, yeah, that'll be fun.
Him and Sonny Ono were friends in real life because of the karate.
Because of karate? Yeah, oh, that's phenomenal.
Well,
I was wondering
Ninja Throwing Stars.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Oh my goodness! Have you not watched his life story documentary thing?
Eric's?
Yeah. Oh, it's so good.
I'm about to say.
A lot of times. It's on the network. It's worth checking out. I can't remember what it's called.
On Peacock or is it on?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it was on. It was a network special, but they brought it over.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right, I'll check it out when. Actually,
it's real quick. It's real quick. It's like it's not.
Minutes,
it's
hour.
not. It might be just a hair over an hour, but
Okay.
it's not like
That's not
Cody's, which was like 2.5.
I'm about to say now Cody's was like 3-4 days.
Yeah, which that was good.
I'm about to say, to be fair, it was quality content.
Yeah, but like Eric's is a breeze.
Yeah, okay.
Because he's got no wrestling to cover.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
You know, it's just him.
I'm about to say it's just him talking.
Yeah, it's like
being a
I
promoter.
did this and I did that.
Yeah.
And now it's
Man,
over.
look at how great I am.
Yes, ain't I great?
Yeah. How did WCW fold? I did so good. But next up we have Raven defeating Rico to retain the hardcore title, and he said, "That's how you get the job done, Tommy. That's how you get the job done, Richards.
Yeah.
Take notes."
Mm-hmm.
And that pretty much wraps that up. But yeah, Raven effect on a chair or something. I don't know.
For sure.
It's a hardcore match, but it's Raven against Rico. But yeah, nice and simple. Black Widow Alliance comes out and tells Molly, "Yeah, you may have pinned Victoria, but let's not forget who the sole survivor was at Survivor Series. My girl, Jackie. Jackie actually deserves a championship match more than you.
I like
so
that.
the challenge that you threw out last week is null and void. Not going to happen. See ya, bye. Sorry about it. But that's just how a cookie crumbles." And, of course, Eric Bischoff, hearing that, his ears perk up, and he's like, "Oh, my God, you guys gave me a great idea. You know, you have a phenomenal point. So how about this? Since, how Jackie won wasn't exactly, what's the word I'm looking for, kosher.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to go ahead and let Molly face Jackie next week. And the winner gets a women's title match. Man, I'm a genius. I'm a genius. Just next level promoter right here, guys.
I love his activities.
Yeah.
He's so active.
Yes, big time.
He's like the opposite of Mick. Mick
He's
was
the
like
exact
he was
opposite. Mick
like
was very
Regal.
hands-off.
Yeah, he was like Regal. War Games, and that's it.
Yep, like War Games. All right, but yes, and that pretty much I wanted to really emphasize the dichotomy of these two.
Makes sense.
Next up we have big match. Jericho and Kane versus the Dudley Boys for the Tag Team Championships. So this match is probably as good as you are imagining it in your head.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of action, very back and forth. I'm not gonna lie, I had a really tough time figuring out who I wanted to win.
Of course, it makes good common sense.
Yep.
So when I think of the match itself, I think of two different matches actually.
Mm-hmm.
One being the Brothers of Destruction versus the Dudleys,
Mm-hmm.
and then also Christian and Chris Jericho versus the Dudleys.
Yes.
Because in both cases, these teams, because Kane and Jericho never actually teamed,
Yeah, right. Obviously.
had great interactions and goings-ons with them.
Yes.
And so I think that's I can understand the struggle.
Yeah. It was a real tough decision, but so this is where I took it back to your idea of where I want to go, book back.
Of course.
So, with that in mind, Jericho and Kane do win this match. And it is tough, hard fought. Ends with Kane tombstoning one of the Dudleys. Take your pick. I don't care.
I mean, either which way you go, it's a hard
Yeah.
tombstone.
Yeah.
It's a
Big
challenge-
tombstone, jumping tombstone.
Yes,
in fact.
challenging.
And Jericho holds off the other Dudley boy to receive the pinfall. I think it's safe to say probably one of the toughest matches.
Absolutely.
Title-wise to date.
Yes.
But they do retain. And when you figure out who will beat them for these titles, you'll understand why I decided to do what I did.
Sounds good.
And then finally, last but not least, we close out the show. Triple H walks out and says, if you watch SmackDown, you probably found out that Orton not doing too hot, injured his shoulder in last week's match, but it's okay. Doc tells me he'll be good by look at that, January. So, Jericho, Kane, congrats on retaining those tag titles, man. Like, you guys, bee's knees, real great. Something else cheesy. So, how about this? How about on the first Raw of the new year? I can hear the money now. Kane and Jericho versus Randy Orton and Dave Bautista. The future of this business for the tag team championships.
I like the sound of that.
Yeah. I also like the sound of that.
Yeah, that's cool.
And that closes out the show. We don't get an answer. Eric actually went home a little early after the genius of the night. So, yeah.
It gives you a cliffhanger or something to think about.
Exactly. So all right, Oz, bring us home.
So when it comes to things to think about, I made an announcement in the last episode, intentionally, just so I could pull it away. So
my feelings.
So I got very upset with a man that I'm a big fan of. His name is Mark Henry. You may notice that I'm a big fan of him because I made him the first television champion. I had him on a 9-week winning streak, and then he basically grabbed all his friends, picked them up, put them on his shoulders, and said, we're going to carry you guys to the promised land with the MPAA. But no, this guy, mind you, I love you, Mark.
Yeah.
This guy had to go and get hurt. Mm-hmm. So even though last week it was promoted that in the main event it would be Mark Henry versus the winner of The Undertaker and Chuck Palumbo, Taker won. We open the show with the announcement that Mark Henry messed up his knee while weight training. He is the world's strongest man, but sadly, he cannot wrestle tonight. And as I know from living in the future, he doesn't wrestle again until August.
Dang, was it that long?
Yeah, so he was out until August. Yep.
That sucks.
But with this announcement, after the announcement of his injury, The Undertaker declares that he will face any member of the MPAA tonight. He's not scared. Okay. He's like, anybody in Mark's stable, step up and get knocked down.
Who wants these boxing gloves?
So, the first match of the night, it sees all of the Regal Counter Threat come to the ring.
Nice.
But only one man stays in the ring, that being Bishop Storm, because he's the workhorse of the group. And thank God that the answer to this question isn't Noble wins Lowell, because his opponent is Jamie Noble.
Oh, boy.
And throughout the match, two great technicians, two great wrestlers, two great WCW.
Have they ever wrestled each other?
Guys, I don't have a clue.
Man.
I have to look that up. But throughout the match, the Iron Addicts are on the outside. They're jaw jacking. They're doing push-ups.
Jack and Juicy.
Yes. But they're jumping around, they're acting all nuts. The Regal Counter Threat doesn't know what to do because they're not all prim and proper like they ought to be. And with this distraction, this less than beneficial group costs Jamie Noble the match. Not in any physical way, but they're just being fools.
A huge distraction, yeah.
So Lance Storm or Bishop Storm beats Jamie Noble, and it's his first loss in God knows how long time.
It's been probably a couple months now.
Couple months, yes. And so post-match, the Iron Addicts get in the ring. They pat Jamie on the back. They help him up. They raise his arms. It's like, oh, you're look at that. You still got those muscles on you.
Yeah.
You know, smack his abs. So we go to commercial, and when we come back, there is a video package promoting the return of The Rock. So once again, much like our promotion of Hogan's return, The Rock has not been seen since he lost to Brock Lesnar.
Dang. Correct. Okay, yeah, that was wild.
SummerSlam,
yeah. That is accurate.
So this is the introduction of Hollywood Rock, right? And so he's out on set. He's doing it big, and
favorite version of this theme song.
You can actually hear a person on headset saying, "No, he can't be in this video. He's too busy." What? No. Cut my mic, right?
Yeah.
So this is important because we're just pre-teasing that he's going to come back as a bad guy.
Of course.
So after that promo airs, giving you the hints of what is to come, Maven, who is already in ring.
I think this is the most screen time Maven's gotten in his career.
Yes. Sorry, Maven, you're losing again. But Maven loses to Bull Buchanan, who hasn't been seen in our world yet. But Bull Buchanan is seconded to the ring by Hugh Morris.
Nice.
And so the Laughing Man, he is cackling the whole time. He's over the top. He's nutsos.
Classic Hugh Morris.
And so these two fellas, they stay in the ring. They're acting a fool, right? Maven is helped out by the ref. They walk to the back, but while we see Maven in the back, we see that D'Lo Brown is playing cards with Farouk and Bradshaw.
Lovely. And
so D'Lo thinks that he won the hand, but it is revealed that Farouk could have won at any point, or like he had the winning hand, he just folded.
About to say classic poker, like you had the royal flush and you decided to fold for no reason.
And so while D'Lo is celebrating his victory, it then occurs to him that he just won a match with The Undertaker, and his celebration turns into dread.
Yeah.
Which is why Farouk folded and didn't win.
Because he's not stupid.
Exactly.
Legend.
So, post that backstage segment, we see the next promo for Nunzio. This time it is food related. You know, the pastas and the whatnots.
Nice.
That's the reason I said the last one couldn't be that.
Got it.
So after the commercial, we come back to Hugh and Bull Buchanan still in the ring. Hugh is lying chest and arms over the middle rope laughing while Bull Buchanan is standing with arm crossed outside. And we hear, "Stand back! There's a hurricane coming through." Hurricane comes out. He beats Hugh Morris because it's that whole hero villain vibe going on with these here fellas.
So this is Joker versus
Green Lantern.
Yeah, Green Lantern. Yeah.
So the not many high spots for the match, just the general idea that it happened.
Yep.
Now, here comes the most important thing on this entire show, and I know that's saying a lot because I have a main event match coming.
Yep.
But Eddie Guerrero comes out. He once again tells Evolution, Triple H, Ric Flair, Stephanie, if you will, Dave and Randy, that he's jealous of them, that he envies them, that the idea of their camaraderie and their togetherness. He says, but you know what I think will help bring my family back together? That undisputed championship. And so Eddie Guerrero says, Essay, Holmes, Triple H, Vato, yes, he says, come out here, accept my challenge. But instead of hearing Triple H's music, instead of hearing Evolution's music, instead of getting Ric Flair, who do we get? Stephanie McMahon.
Oh, man.
So Stephanie McMahon, she, once again, is not very pleased with Eddie. So Eddie ruined her celebration that she had planned for her husband last week.
Of course.
She sympathizes with Eddie having a dysfunctional family. She says, I've been there.
Shoot, I'm still there.
I'm still there. But you know what I think might be the root of all of your problems? I think it might be greed, Eddie.
Ooh.
It might be greed.
Powerful words from Steph.
So you think about it, Eddie. I'm not trying to be rude when I say this, but what is it that you have that your nephew doesn't? And you can see that Eddie has that Intercontinental title on him.
Very shiny.
And so Stephanie says, I'm going to give you 7 days to decide how badly you would like to be in the ring with my husband, Triple H, for his AEW Undisputed Championship. She says, because you get to pick one of two things. You can't have them both. You can't have it all. You either can remain Intercontinental Champion, or I will gladly take it from you in exchange for a match with Triple H. But you have 7 days to decide that, so think long and hard about it. So Eddie no longer smiles, no longer jokes. He's very stone-faced, he's very serious, he's contemplative, because he has brought positivity to the Intercontinental title. Something that William Regal never did, but he does think that there's a chance that undisputed title could be the key to helping Rey and Chavo come back to the same page. He's like, if I can be on top, then I can do what Triple H did. I can bring my family to both shows.
Yeah.
More shows, more money, more everything. Yeah. So Eddie's got a lot to think about.
Man.
So in the main event, we have Bradshaw, Farouk, and D'Lo all come out together. But the thing is that The Undertaker doesn't come out alone. He comes out with Palumbo. They both ride out together.
Fascinating.
Because even though Chuck lost, he still respects his mentor. And I love D'Lo Brown. I think that being the first Eurocontinental champion, great job, D'Lo. I think that in a world where Dwayne Johnson never existed, he could have been a top guy. I think a lot of people suffer from the generation that they're in and who is on top.
We can say that about Roman Reigns right now.
Absolutely. There are a lot of guys. Yes.
Yeah.
But The Undertaker retains, defeating D'Lo Brown with the last ride, and he and Palumbo celebrate, but also show respect toward the MPAA, because realistically, a lot of Farouk's friends were Undertaker's friends. Like, he was friends with Bryan Adams. Farouk was friends with Bradshaw. Bradshaw and Farouk were both in the ministry. Like, there are a lot of connections. Godfather, exactly. A lot of connections between these fellas. And so, like I said, the biggest question that lingers from my show, my SmackDown, is what will Eddie decide?
What's Eddie gonna do?
Oh, I can't wait till the next episode, brother.
Man. I mean, you already told me, but even so.
Thank you.
It is exciting.
Thank you for watching. Come back for the continuation of the channel. Follow the link to pick yourself up any of the products that are available. And thank you.
See you guys.